What's up, friends? Today we're here with a short video, but today we're going to be upgrading the bushings on my Atlas Pro to some Riptides. I talk about Riptide bushings all the time, but I've never done a video comparing directly how the turn feels and stability and stuff like that. We're not going to be running this to full speed today because I don't really feel like wobbling out on double kingpins, but we will be doing some comparisons. I'm going to do a turning circle comparison. We'll take a look at the setup here as it is right now, and then we'll compare once I swap to the Riptides. And for reference here, I haven't actually opened these yet, but this Riptide package cost me about $65, I want to say, which, yes, I know, it's a lot. But you get this whole package of bushings. I'll get some close-up footage of this, but you get a full setup for your entire board, along with pivot cups. And the idea is that you replace all of the bushings. And for me, I got the kit for electric skateboards, the Quad 6 kit, which is for the Wowgo AT2, the Flip Sky, double kingpins, the Exway Atlas. They're pretty much like standard double kingpin pivots and bushing. So I got the 93A wine red, which is basically a medium, and I have not tried this particular one on double kingpin before. I have one other double kingpin board that's on a softer setup, but this one is a little bit harder, so we're going to try it out. I'll bring the camera over here and look at how Riptide says to set it up, and then we'll go ahead and do some control testing with the stock bushings on the Atlas Pro.
You make my heart beat super fast.
Alright, so here is the bushing set, and you can see inside that it sort of tells you how to set it up. So we're going to do it exactly how it says, and set it up with the different shapes of bushings where they say to put them. There's actually quite a few options in here. You've got like some chubbies, you've got some standard barrels, you've got a fat cone. So I'm really interested to see how this affects the ride feel. But right now, like I said, we're on the standard orange Exway bushings. I don't remember what hardness these are. I want to say maybe they were 90A, something like that. But in any case, we're going to stand on the board right now, tilt the trucks, see how they feel, and then I'll get my my action cam out and we will compare turning circles. I'm going to try to start it from the same spot, probably somewhere in one of these parking spots, and see how tight I can get it. And then we'll compare how they feel at, I don't know, around 20 miles an hour, something safe like that, and then we'll push it a little bit to like 24, and we'll see how they feel there. Alright, so we're standing on the board right now, and I'm just going to do like a nice casual tilt. It's really hard to like show exactly how this feels, but it actually looks like right now the rear truck has more turn. That's probably because I just switched the gear drives out and didn't tighten it all the way. But in any case, it feels pretty stiff. It does have a good bit of turn, but it feels pretty stiff standing in place. You can see how much the truck turns. That is pretty much full lean. I can't put it on any more pressure than that. I'll put the camera on the ground now so you can see how it looks like from a different angle. So here's max turn left, max turn right, and there's just sort of a average motion. And then we'll look at it from the side too. There we go. Alright, so there's sort of your before. We're going to hop on it and ride for a couple of minutes now, and I'll bring out my camera and talk to you there. Alright, well, I've got my gear on. Feels a little excessive for a slow run, but you never know. The one time I didn't wear my gloves, I fell, so might as well take the extra 3 seconds to gear up. So, Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I only brought my full face helmet today, so had to put the mic in a weird spot. All right, we're gonna try riding this around a little bit. I haven't ridden this board in a while, so get used to see how it feels. This is also my first time riding the 2-stage gear drives, which is fun. I just remembered that I forgot to buckle my helmet, so I'm gonna do that real quick. So, as double kingpin bushings go, honestly, Exway does not do too bad. They feel pretty decent. Run around 15 miles an hour right now. You can turn pretty well. The stability is all right. I don't actually want to get wobbles, but that's about 23 miles an hour. Nothing too crazy. These gear drives sound really cool. You're not going to hear it much because my mic is up here right now, but we're just doing a casual little ride to see how these bushings feel. They feel pretty decent, and right now we have the small tires on, so that does affect the bushing feel a little bit because the larger tires tend to make bushings feel softer, but I thought this would be a good test for maneuverability, so here we are. Let's see if I can go a little bit faster. I don't really know what the top speed is with these other gear drives. We'll do like 25. That's around 25. Honestly feels perfectly fine. The thing that does suffer though is super low speed turning. So right now I would say that the trucks are a little bit tighter than the average double kingpin. If I try to turn around in this this street right here, let's see what we can do. We can do it, but kind of a bit more effort than you would really want. We're going to use the parking lot lines in a second here to determine the turning radius, and we'll do the same thing on the Riptide Bushings and just see what it feels like. So we're going to do a heel side turn, and we're going to start at this line here. So you got a leaf on the ground. We're going to start with our wheels on this side of the line. Now we're going to do a turn as tight as possible and see how many parking spots it takes. Alright, so coming back around the leaf line, that's 1 parking spot, 2 parking spot, 3 parking spot and a half. I feel like I can go a little bit tighter though. Yeah, it's like 1.5. Not too bad. However, if you were to do this on dualities or on 3 links, you could probably get tighter with less effort and not have to sacrifice that upper speed stability. So let's try a toe side. And honestly, this is all just going to be a little bit of opinions, not exact numbers. I kind of just want to see what this feels like, and I thought I would show you guys while I do it. All right, let's see. Toe side, probably going to be better for me. Easier for me to apply more force. It looks like we can do it in just about 2 parking spots. Ish. And that's pretty tight. So right now this setup is nice up to 25 as far as I've seen. And you can turn all right. But now we're going to switch to the Riptides and just see how they feel. I'm expecting a big improvement. Alright, so we're going to change the bushings now. And the difficult part about DKP is you have to take the one out that's all the way on the bottom. So I'm just going to speed through this and take off the hanger and then take off the middle part. And hopefully it won't be too hard. That's the roadside bushing. I need to get this part out, which looks very tight. Probably because the nuts are. Alright, there we go. We are all the way down to the base. So, I'll just show you the bushings here. The board side set is sort of a double flanged barrel with a cone. And then it looks like it's exactly the same for the closer to roadside. So now we're going to switch, pull out the Riptide ones, look at the back truck, look at the one closest to the deck, and here we have a flat washer right here, and then I think a chubby, not sure, but we'll put this on, and we're going to switch the original washer because it's a bit small to this larger one. Put on this guy. What up, dude? I'm recording. Yeah, I am, which is surprising. All right, so we got the closest board side bushing on, but now we have to pull out the pivot cup. So I'm gonna grab a screwdriver and see if I can wedge that out. All right, so we got a screwdriver. There we go. One pivot cup out. So we're switching from these black ones that Exway has to a blue one, which, I mean, the color isn't important, it's the formula of the urethane, but switch that over. And then we can stick the mid hanger back on. All right, so we got the mid hanger on. Now we're gonna stick the second bushing on. So we have a second board side bushing, which is a small cone, or sorry, a small barrel. Stick that here with the small washer, which can be changed to a cupped washer later, and then we'll stick the nut back on. And we do want to tighten this down a decent bit right now because you can't get to this nut as easily, and we also kind of need to push the pivot in a little bit. So there's that. Got the second pivot here, and I don't really care about saving these, which is why I'm just using a screwdriver. You probably could do this a little nicer if you tried. All right, there's the second one out. Put the second pivot in, and plop. And then we will go ahead and stick the first roadside bushing on, which is going to be this one, which is another barrel, except this time we have a cupped washer. Again, all these washers can be changed if you want. Riptide does provide some extras in the kit. So the cupped side will go board side, and then we will put the hanger back in and plop right there. And then we have one final bushing, which is going to be the fourth bushing, the roadside bushing, which is going to be another barrel with a flat washer. So we'll push that on, put the flat washer on, and then we'll start the nut. You can tell already that there's a huge difference in shapes here. We have pretty much all barrels at the back here. Exway had barrels and cones. So we'll see how these perform. I'm looking forward to seeing the differences. And now we just have to do the same thing on the front. So we do see a little bit of a difference here on the front. Our first deck side bushing is actually a cone. I don't know if it's a fat cone or a regular one, but it's a cone with a flat washer. So we'll put the flat washer on the cone, and then we'll stick the mid hanger on. Our second bushing is a regular barrel with the small flat washer. We'll tighten that down a bit. And then our third and fourth are the same regular barrels. So we'll finish that up real quick. All right, so I just got back on the board, and wow, the difference is actually crazy. There's so much more turn. And granted, I haven't tightened it down all the way yet, but it's at a similar tightness as the old ones. And wow, the difference is crazy. The question though is going to be, will it hold up at the same speed? And can I actually do top speed on this? I don't know. We're going to have to see. But I'll put the camera on the ground and show you how much it turns. It's a lot. So I can turn these so far that I basically fall off the board. Absolutely crazy. All right, we're on the Atlas Pro again, and oh my God, the difference is crazy. Honestly, it's so loose that I feel like I almost need 93 A's. And I did pick the correct one on the Riptide site. Like, I weigh about 185. I picked the 180 to 200 pound version, and watch this. I can turn in like 4 feet. Okay, maybe not 4 feet, like 8, but still, absolutely crazy. The question is, of course, is it still stable? And I think that answer might be yes. I don't want to risk it too hard right now because I don't have my full gear on, but this was never going to be an in-depth video anyway. We can just take it up to 20, perfectly fine. It's interesting because the unique thing about Riptide bushings is that the formula reacts differently than like the quote-unquote Chinese formulas. So you're able to run them looser and still have a lot of rebound. And that's exactly what we're experiencing here. I mean, look at this. This is absolutely ridiculous. We can probably turn around in a parking spot, honestly. If you try hard enough, I bet you could do it. I mean, we're under 2 parking spots right now on heel side. Let's try toe side. Oh, I'm certain that you could definitely get it down to 1 if you tried hard enough, but wow. The difference in turnability is crazy. Obviously, you guys already saw when I was just standing on it, but I can't believe I waited this long. I mean, this makes this board so much more fun to ride. Like, seriously, we're going about 20. Feels perfectly fine. We'll go to 24. There's 24. I felt a little bit wobbly, but I think that's just because I'm not super used to double kingpins right now. But wow, absolutely incredible performance. I cannot believe that I waited this long. That's 25 right there. Crazy. You guys know, if you've been watching my videos for a while, every time I'm like, upgrade to Riptide, upgrade to Riptide. Well, this is why. I mean, absolutely crazy. You'd have to try it for yourself to actually understand, but man, this board is so fun now. I'm excited to put some miles on these 2-stage gear drives, and man, it's just so fun, so maneuverable, responsive, crazy stuff. Well, honestly, I don't have a ton more to say about these bushings and this setup. Obviously, there's a ton of stuff that you can change on these. You get extra washers, you get cupped washers, you get one extra bushing that's a cone. If you want even more turn, you could change like this front facing roadside to a cone, and that would give you even more turning, although I can't fathom why you would need more than basically 45-degree angle on the board. I mean, come on. This is crazy stuff. Anyway, hopefully you guys like this sort of informal video. I just was doing it anyway. Thought, might as well record it, and let me know what you guys think. If you need a link to Riptide, it's down in the description. No affiliate code or anything. I just love the brand, so go check them out and put Riptides on your board.